And good morning, everybody! It's your best friend, your best band friend, GGFan, wishing you a lovely Saturday morning. I'd like to get this video out before I move on with the rest of my day. Last time we talked about the tragic tale of Toaster Boy 420. Why was Toaster Boy banned when so many people who participated in the Endgang server were not horrible, vile messages were written, were posted. Toaster Boy was banned for simply being in Lance Court. Now, the proper name of this server is the Union of Socialist Pokemon Trainers. Toaster Boy was banned for simply being in the server. At the hands of Vertigo, a loser moderator with nothing going on in their lives. This is their life. One of Vertigo's jobs is to patrol Showdown in Discord and Smirgon forums all day to try and get people banned. Now, one person told me, GGFan, this is a normal thing. Many people do it. It is like a job. No, it's not. You don't get paid to do this. But I realize on the internet it's a job. In real life, they probably don't have one. So I suppose, in the online realm, this would be equivalent to having a job. So it is Vertigo's job to patrol Discord and Showdown all day and try to get people banned. Toaster Boy was one of them. He was banned for simply being in Lance's server. I'd like to focus more on Vertigo. Well, not really Vertigo. I want to focus more on Maia. So Vertigo had a girlfriend named Maia, or Noel, or Thea. They've had many names throughout their tenure in the online Poke world. I'd like to focus more on Pokemon's power couple. And I use that term facetiously, of course, but there was once a power couple that consisted of Vertigo and Maia. Both Vertigo and Maia despised Champion Lance. They wanted to ban Lance. They wanted to ban every single person who frequented Lance's server. Now, Lance is a controversial person in the history of online Pokemon. However, regardless what you think of him, he is considered by many to be one of the greatest Ubers / anything goes players of all time. So he has this server. It's a valuable source of information for a lot of players. They wanted everybody in the server banned. And that's what happened. Vertigo managed to get in the server and leaked the entire chat. Every single person, all 350 or so people in Lance's server were banned. Now, Maia was obviously very happy about this. Maia has hated Lance for a long time. Maia herself spent most of her day, if not all of it, on Showdown and Discord. She was also making a name for herself in dubious fashion on the Smirgon forums. This is the infamous "I ate a cookie" post. Now, I'm not showing this to humiliate her or make fun of her. Now, depression is a crippling disease. If you have depression, please get the help you need. Moreover, I really hate how mental health is stigmatized. For example, if you broke your leg, you'd see a doctor, right? If something was wrong mentally, I hope you would get the help you need, whether that required medication, therapy. This post is infamous because it illustrates Maia's duplicitous nature as a person. Here she is, asking for help, asking for sympathy. She's complaining about a depression. She's upset. Very sensitive. She's opening up. But on the other hand, here she is on a Discord server, being very malicious. I'm gonna ban the shit out of him. It'll invert his ladder rankings. Get fucked. Now, this was in response to Lance performing well on the ladder. Frito reported this post to Maia at the time. Maia was promoted to moderator due to how often she frequented Discord, Showdown, Smirgon forums. Frito, you may recognize the name Frito if you watched my first couple of videos about Smirgon's noteworthy banned user list. The name Frito pops up. I'll show you in a moment. Frito's here. He's on the noteworthy banned users list for maliciously obtaining dox information and death threats. Frito threatened to kill Lance. He wanted to find his address and kill him. Surprisingly, Showdown banned him. As hated as Lance is, as reviled as he is amongst their people, Frito was banned for this. Frito also loved Pokemon. He supposedly he flunked school. He dropped out of college to do better at Pokemon, but it didn't go the way he wanted it to. So he was actually added to the noteworthy banned users list for that. Let me return here. So here's Maia, obsessed with Lance's performance in the ladder. You know, I know you're depressed. You have issues. I think you have more important things to worry about than someone's ladder score. But this really shows me her duplicitous nature. You know. So Lance obviously had his score inverted. In fact, a lot of players, most of the people who frequented Lance's server topped the ladder. All of them had their scores inverted. There's a lot of drama in the Uber's Anything Goes universe. It's pretty crazy. So I guess Maia won, if you consider this a victory. But later on, for her stellar work as a moderator, Maia was promoted as an administrator. Now, originally, she was promoted to administrator a couple years ago. She took a brief leave of absence, came back to resume her duties as administrator. Now, one person talked to me about Maia. However, they did not want me to reveal their name. I do have the message. I'll show you. This is what one person told me about Maia. Maia was promoted because she spends all day on Smirgon forums and Discord. In a private Discord, she once bragged about spending 24 hours online because it proved how dedicated she is. Again, this is not a job. Get a real job, get a life. This is not it. She was a very bad player who could not win a single game, so she tried to fit in by trying to kill the Anything Goes player base and making friends with pedophiles because they're popular on Smirgon. It makes me wonder what kind of person Chaos really is. So a lot to say about this quote from this individual who wants to remain confidential. Obviously, Maia spends a lot of time online. Too much time online. Could not win a single game. A lot of the most prominent figures on Smirgon were not very good players, so they did make a name for themselves in other ways. Ways that I won't go into right away. Maybe I'll save that for another video. She tried to kill the Anything Goes player base again. She played a major role in having everybody in Lance's server banned. Vertigo. Maia helped Vertigo get into Lance's server, and Vertigo leaked the entire chat. Sent it to Maia. Maia presented it as proof, and everybody was banned. All 300 plus people were banned. Making friends with pedophiles. This is a very serious remark. What is this referring to? Well, this is alluding to... Where is it? This is alluding to Lily. Who is Lily? Well, Lily is a name Smirgon does not want you to know. Lily was a moderator. Of course, Lily was a moderator and a tour player. Very active on Smirgon. A figure of authority on Smirgon. Lily used her authority in a very disturbing, perverted way. She would allow minors to log into her account, and then he would do something. I think you know what he did. He found it very attractive. I'll just leave it at that. So this, he eventually, his behavior got leaked, and he was banned. Smirgon deleted every trace of his existence. Every single post he made throughout his time on Smirgon was deleted. You cannot mention Lily ever again. I probably, if you were to say the name Lily, you might get banned. You probably would. So Smirgon doesn't want you to know Lily exists. This person here is upset that Maia was promoted. This post suggests that Maia may have been friends with Lily. I'm not saying this was true, but unfortunately this is the case more often than not. So Maia was promoted. This person's upset about it. This person is referring to a possible relationship, a very inappropriate relationship that Maia had with a very disturbing, disgusting individual. And then, the last thing I want to talk about is this. It makes me wonder what kind of person Chaos really is. Chaos is the owner of Smirgon. Now, a few videos back, I responded to Finchinator's Reddit thread about me. I talked about my dealings with Chaos 20 years ago. I said that Chaos was one of the few people who I felt was genuinely racist back in the day. And this was at a time when, the N-word was as common as the letter I. Everybody used it, but Chaos used it. He used it in a very malicious way. He would replace people's posts with the caricature of a black person that said Enjo's tar soap. There's an old thread about me from 20 years ago. In this thread, Chaos wrote, "Fuck you, N-word," which I presume has been omitted. But, I bear no grudge against the things people did and said 20 years ago. That's a lifetime ago. I don't have anything against Chaos now. Obviously, why would I? But, when I think, when I see the kinds of people who are pulling the strings on Smirgon, the people who are embraced and glorified, the people who are doing all this work, building the site, patrolling the Discord, these people spend their entire lives in the Smirgon universe. Smirgon is not a forum for them. It is a way of life. Because of Smirgon, they get to be somebody. Chaos profits off of these people. They make no money for their labor. In return, they feel validated. They get to be somebody on the internet. So I guess that's an even exchange. That's really about it. This is the power couple, Vertigo and Maia. Hope you found this video insightful or at least somewhat interesting or entertaining. Have a great day.